It's the Witchy Stitchers.
I'm Charlene.
And I'm Morgan.
Today's video, July 13th, 2020, or as we call it, the year from hell, is being brought to you today by the letter D. Dipwad, Diplodocus, Dutch, Death, Diphtheria.
Dumbass.
I can go deep dish pizza.
Yum.
Today's word of the day is decaf. Coffee that doesn't work. That's all I'm going to say about that. And now to our regular scheduled program. How's your week been, Morgan?
It's been busy. Today it is warm.
Thank you, official dictionary of sarcasm.
Yes.
Because we don't have enough. Is it warm? What is it today?
78 and it's cloudy, and every time I step outside I feel like I'm stepping into a sauna. No thank you.
Although, if it's that hot, maybe my saddlebags will melt.
Just wait until we go to Kansas next month.
Don't use blasphemy on our videos. That's why we don't have nice things. So before we get started, we have a couple things we need to say to a certain individual. You know who you are. As she chuckles, I'm trying to be serious about this. So this wonderful friend of ours, I call her friend because I like her and I don't like very many people.
She called us friend.
So if she's going to use the F word, then I'll use it back.
Okay.
She mentioned us in one of her videos, and consequently, our fan base has exploded. Which
Not just exploded, like...
It's like atomic bomb level. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
So, Debbie,
Thank
I love you. Go check her out, Creatively Yours. She is in the Netherlands. Has beautiful works of art. She's doing a mirabilia right now that is just gorgeous. Yeah, just wow. So, because it's Debbie's fault, or credit, or however you want to word it.
Yeah. Debbie!
Oh, Debbie!
Hello!
So, we went over 300 subscribers. I think, would you say we're at 306?
When I checked before this, we were at 306.
306. So we decided to do a giveaway. And as you know, the subscribers that we've had for a long time now, I have the most ridiculous stash on the planet. You know, as quilters, we say, she who dies with the most fabric wins. Well, she who dies with the most cross-stitch books and patterns wins. I might not win, though, if I keep giving them away because of such incredible generosity by our friends.
She wants to sit on my butt for once.
She does. So we are going to do a giveaway. I went through and I picked out some books, so I'll just show you right quick what they're going to be. This is an embroidery pattern. And then I have a cross-stitch book with different holidays. I have 1996's Cross-Stitch and Country Crafts. All kinds of fun patterns. I have Stony Creek's March, April '99. And I have Very Thankful, Book 2. All kinds of gorgeous little teddy bears with verses on them. What you need to do, got to be 18. Do not say giveaway. We want to know what you do during a normal year for your summer vacation, winter vacation, depending on where you're at, what hemisphere you're in. Right now the kids are on summer vacation from school. Excuse me, normally they would be doing football camps, band camps.
We would have actually just gotten home from a band camp this week.
No.
Yeah, it would have been this last week.
No, the band camp's the first week of June.
Oh, it is June. I can't tell what month we're in.
We don't even have nice things. This is why.
Well, your life is upside down.
Anyway, tell us what you guys would do normally. Do you do like a family vacation? Do you go and spend, a couple weeks with Grandma and Grandpa? What do you normally do? The cat is pouting. Apparently she just wants her humans to go back to a normal life and
leave her alone.
Who knew? Again, Debbie, thank you so much. And thank you to all of you that have joined us and let us irritate you. I hope that you Our new disclaimer, I guess, should be at the beginning of our videos to not be drinking something when we're talking.
Ask Debbie.
Doesn't end well. Dr. Pepper on a computer screen.
And we will not be accountable for it.
No. So, there's a lot of cynicism that goes on in this house. We run on caffeine, not the D word, decaf.
We even drink caffeinated coffee at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Maybe that's why we don't sleep.
No, we don't sleep because it's too freaking hot.
We had a bear outside our bedroom window last night. He weighed about 350 pounds.
Yogi came to visit.
Yogi made a visit to all the
Neighbors.
people in our area that leave their trash out all the time. We live in the woods. It's 7,000 feet. There's bears. Why do you leave your trash out? Anyway, it was a mess. I'm glad they had to pick it up. Not me.
It's because we're smart and we put ours inside in our garage.
Yogi was huge. When I whistled at him last night out my bedroom window, he turned around.
If bears could flip you off, which they actually can, they do have 5 fingers.
But they don't have opposable thumbs, so I'm safe.
You got a point there.
Alright, so you're here for stitching and quilting, and
We're talking about bears.
we're talking about bears. So we went shopping yesterday. No. What day
Saturday.
was it? Saturday. I don't even know what day it is. Poe left. In Michael's. So when you walk into Michael's, so here in the United States we have Michael's. And it's
Hobby Lobby and Joann's.
in Joann's. And Michael's is like this ginormous craft store. They don't have a really good selection of fabric per se for like quilting and things like that. But they have just about everything else under the sun you can imagine. And when you first walk in, they have this ginormous bin. I mean,
And they
huge.
had their summer
Like,
clearance,
it wouldn't
70% off.
fit in our dining room here. That's basically 12 by 12. I mean, it's this huge bin, and yeah, they had everything like $1 or less.
Yeah.
And so she picked up some really fun things for a pen pal. And
Don't say your name. She watches our video.
So
Hi.
we have an obsession with Post-its.
Yeah.
Post-its. If you go to Michael's, these are normally like $6.99.
These were $1.47. Actually,
$1.47.
$4.19 is what they normally are.
$4.19. Sorry, my bad. The big packages are $6. Do you do Post-its? I do, because I use them with all my stitching stuff. I found these. She found them. There's washi tape and these little clippies and more Post-its and stickers.
Mine are stickers.
And
Wow,
did I
there's a lot
mention-
of stickers in here.
Did I mention washi tape? I have an obsession with washi tape too. And look at this little bag. Like thread keep, pencils, pens.
Travel
I don't know. It's
with our
awesome.
projects.
It's awesome.
She found me stickers.
I found her stickers. So our current subscribers know our returning or new subscribers. So I make a lot of cards. I send cards to like senior groups for birthdays, and I send a lot of cards to our trips overseas. And I have a thing about putting silk flowers on my cards. Don't ask me why. I love
It's
flowers.
her signature trait.
So I found this huge thing, and we had coupons.
Gotta
So
love coupons.
look at this big thing of silk flowers I found. With my coupons and my discounts, it was like $2.
I found this cute little thing.
It's for college.
It is, and it. So I have a miniature stapler, which I have one. I just lost my big one. But it'll be good for like classes and stuff. Pencil sharpener, tape, extra staples, and clips. Because
It's so much fun.
I love it.
They had that one and they had a pink one, and she's like, I'm past my pink phase.
I don't do pink. Purple and blue.
Whatever.
Whatever.
And then I found stickers because I like to seal my letters with a sticker. And I have a friend who has been collecting stamps. And I thought these were so perfect to use for my closures because they look like little mini stamps.
That is so adorable.
And they're poofy.
We like to
And
put
then-
poopy stickers on the inside of our letters.
Yes. Don't put them on the outside. The post office will eat them up and spit them out, and that's
It's like an
not
hors
a joke.
d'oeuvre for
Yes.
them.
And then I got these for somebody special, you know who you are, for her letters because that was all of our shopping.
No, it was not.
No,
actually.
it wasn't either.
So
everything was on sale, so
was.
we had fun.
So my birthday's next week. I'm 19 this year. What the hell?
Getting old. Just gonna need a cane pretty soon.
I already need one.
To beat people with.
Yep. Look at it.
So we're getting all this goodness picked up. Jinx is gonna eat it.
She eats thread.
She does eat thread. She's a goofy dog. And there's this lady and her daughter came over and they were picking up thread for her grandma. Is that what she said? Her grandma. And she's like, okay, and doing the whole social distancing thing. In the meantime, we're just standing there, just checking thread into our cart. And this lady's like, oh, well, we just need a couple. Morgan's standing there with like this wad.
I had my phone. I'd taken a picture of our key because you don't want to lose a $20 pattern. So I took pictures of the pattern, or not the pattern, but of my key, and I'm standing there, and of course they were missing like 10. And I'm standing there, and I had the phone and the thread, and every 10 minutes, or not 10 minutes, but like 20 threads, I was like, Mom!
So she needed 415.
Yeah.
And so I reached over and I grabbed 415, and I'm like, I don't have cooties. And she's like, oh, no, thank you. And so she takes it, and she's looking at Morgan, and she's looking at her daughter, and I'm pretty sure the thought was, if we don't hurry up and get our shit and get out of here, she's going to buy it all.
Except for the fact I just bought all the blues. This color palette is all blue and turquoise.
The look on her face was priceless. I absolutely loved it.
It was hilarious.
I'm just standing there with my cart, chuckling.
Oh, we actually forgot 2 things.
What we forgot?
My dye.
Uh-oh. So we finally found tan Rit dye.
Which is what I do parchment with.
So that's what she's going to do. Supposedly, according to Informed Delivery, our fabric is supposed to be here that I ordered for pandemic. I'm hoping, so I have Tuesday and Wednesday. So I have 3 days left of my 100-day challenge. Snoopy says hi. I'm hoping that she can get it dyed and we can get it ready to go because I would love to start pandemic on the last day of my 100-day challenge.
We're seeing so many people post on the pandemic page on Facebook.
Oh my gosh. You guys, it's on Facebook. Let me see if I
Long
can get this
Dog
right.
Pandemic.
What she said, because I can't say that word. I always go back to, what's that show?
16 Candles.
16 Candles. Long Duck Dong.
For me, it's 19 Candles
Long
now.
Duck, whatever. Okay,
What?
so on with stitching. I am less than 500
Yes. Well, she tops.
away from 100,000 stitches for the year.
She's going to get it this week.
I'm hoping to get it today.
Or
hoping.
today, that's possible.
We'll see. Dalton goes back to start football camp this week. They were off all of last week for the holiday. So I'm hoping while we're sitting and waiting for him, after she gets done with her driving lesson, that I can work on it. For the month, I'm at 7,000 and something.
Yeah, she's doing a lot better than I am.
Let me look. My handy dandy trusty planner. That's ridiculously thick.
All of that apart.
7,183 as of last night. And as of last night, it was at 99,613. I think I'll get there today. I put 250 exactly into my Mill Hill this morning, so I think I can come up with another 200 and some stitches.
Yeah. I'm at basically 3,300 for the month. Kind of fell out the wagon for a little while this month, or this last week. What are you looking for?
I'm trying to reach my phone.
Ah. And then for the year, I'm at 42,870. So I should hit 45,000 by the end of the week.
I had to check my phone. Preston's on an oiling project and he only has signal about 3 times throughout the day. He's working up on Berthoud Pass, which, if any of you are familiar with Colorado, that's way up there. So when he texts and gets a hold of me to let me know he's okay, I like to hear from him.
So she'll be diving off the chair a few times.
No, probably not now till later this afternoon. Because he only has service when he does his load. Yeah.
Gotta fight with the editing. I had so much troubles last
We
week.
did. We had a lot of trouble. Have to show you what somebody made me. So
We forgot the earrings.
Oh, I forgot the earrings. Well, they're exactly like this, except they're a little bit larger. So we have these huge, like 16-inch rock tiles in our kitchen, laundry room, basically everywhere that it's tiled, minus the bathroom.
And the bedrooms.
And,
all that.
well, yeah. And over the almost 5 years that we've been here, the tiles have broken, or the rock has broken from...
The grouts came apart and yeah.
Exactly. They did it in the middle of wintertime before we moved in here, and they did a really poor job. And they didn't hold right. Within the first 6 months that we lived here, we already had 2 broken ones back where we come in the front door. And so...
And then we broke them dropping your phone on.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, where this one is cracked right here from where you come out of the hall into the dining room.
Across from my bedroom and stuff like that.
Oh, excuse me. I stepped on it, and the one side popped up, and it cut a huge chunk out of my toe. It feels really good.
It still hurts.
Well, I honestly thought that I broke it when it first happened.
I wouldn't be surprised
it
if
hurt
she did.
that bad. Anyway, and Preston's like, we're done. No more. I don't want a bunch of people in here redoing this right now.
We have 2 kittens that will bolt at the sight of an open door.
Well, and there's more to it than that. I'm not real keen on the handyman that comes in, and it's like I told Preston, I would rather have to come up with plan B as plan A. So we found this really pretty rug at the Restore down the hill, very inexpensive, and put it down, and consequently now we have like fuzzy underneath our feet.
It's like corduroy.
Well, in doing so, we had to rearrange a couple things here at the dining room. I can't quit yawning. It's a video, it makes me tired. And over here in this corner that you can't see, I have a
They can
large,
see the basket,
little bit of it.
that's it.
But I have a huge dresser that I keep all of my stationery and my
Dresser?
writing stuff. Dressers. Long bug.
Dresser.
So anyway, we had to move it and rearrange it to get what little bit about, oh, I don't know, let's say 8 inches.
Not even 8 inches.
No,
Probably 5
underneath
or 6.
the edge of it. In doing so, of course, had to clean it off, which was a good excuse. I found this little sack of charms, and I think that it came from my friend in California, but I'm not positive. Anyway, it was full of, and she mentioned earrings, so she made me the bracelet out of this, and then the ones that she made the earrings out of are about twice that big.
Let me go grab them. Are they in your room?
Yeah, they're in there on the dresser.
Okay.
And then a necklace too.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the bracelet. So the one good thing that came from cleaning out the dresser and putting in our new rug is that I found pretties. And she utilized them for me.
Did. I got busy last night and actually did something instead of stitch. That's partially why I haven't been stitching much, because I've been doing stuff. So these are the earrings. I have been. So I had, yeah, and I had 2 leftover little ones, and so I put them on there. And the theme of it is that, and this is what my thought process was when I was making them, was that there's 4 of us in our family.
Mm-hmm. And then this was the necklace.
Other side. And I had a hell of a time getting that one put together, but it worked.
It's beautiful.
So the whole thing behind it is that we have 4 people in our family, and then everybody knows the story about the dragonflies.
Mm-hmm.
And so the necklace is that one extra that never really goes away.
I thought they were beautiful. So that's what she made for me.
And then I also made something else for her.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
And so technically the project's mine when it's done.
Where is that pattern? You
there.
talk, I will find the pattern.
Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? And there's actually a butterfly. Where is it? Where is that butterfly? You guys are starting to notice something. I'm getting good at putting random animals in there. I can't find the butterfly. Oh, there it is.
So this is out of
Is it her? No, I thought it was the other one.
Nope.
It was the other one on the toadstool. Wrong fairy.
Keep talking.
Anyway, I water dyed this one instead of ice dyed. I crumpled it all up in a tight little ball and put a couple rubber bands on it, and then I submerged it in dye, salt, and Dawn dish soap. And I let it set in some scalding hot water, and I got this for that.
This
so
is a Shannon Wazi leaf.
was a lift.
Wazi leaf. It's out of World of Cross Stitching.
So, and when I pulled this out of the water, this was super dark, like almost midnight blue. And I was like, oh god, I hope it stays like that, because she's gonna just be perfect for it. And it did, sort of. It's still pretty.
It's gorgeous.
So, is that everything?
That's it.
I had to fix a couple zipper pulls yesterday because my first few weren't that good. So I had to fix them yesterday. This is going to be another long video.
Okay, you want me to go first?
Yeah, why don't we just go ahead?
So one of my new pieces that I started, I don't remember what day, and of course I put my book down. I started this one last week. This is a Doreen Jones, again, World of Cross Stitching, same book. And again, we all know the obsession with dragonflies. And I put in...
She's got a dragonfly zipper pull I made her that she can put on there when she makes it a bag.
So, I think this one was 112 stitches is what I put into that one. I've got to pick up, so this one has got 2 of the DMC variations. So
I have one in Mother Moon.
yeah, I've got to get, I think it takes 2 or 3 skeins. So I got to get them picked up. And our Michaels, the Michaels that we usually go to, they have the DMC variations, but they have a very, very limited,
Blew up.
thank you, very, very limited selection of the variations.
Joann's and Hobby Lobby are the best that I've found.
Yeah, but our Joann's that we like so well, theirs is smaller than Michael's.
That Michael's that we went to right after everything opened up, down in Lone Tree.
Oh, that's right.
That one has a
You
great
said that.
selection.
Yeah, you said
And they
that.
also have good fabric.
Yes, they do that.
So I worked on Encounter this last week, and I'm actually going to be working on it. So I'll just talk about future plans along with this, because I have it in both.
Okay.
So I have this in Full Coverage Fanatics. I have this in, oh my god, not Magical Stitches, Enchanted Stitching. And I have this in Acrostic for Jinli. I have it in for 1,200 stitches. I've done 255.
Awesome.
So that beautiful piece, I'm wondering if I can I can't just open it up to show you. I'm working across the page now on page 1. So this is down to half of page 1. So over here, up in that little corner. Not a huge, okay, there's a huge progress amount there. It's just 25 count, and it's so tiny. It's like,
She's doing a really good job.
And I keep it so funny. I use Mom's magnifiers that she has, because apparently we're blind.
You said you wanted to tell.
Everybody knows it. We wear glasses. Anyway, I've been using it. So you literally, they magnify. It's 4 times magnification. So I see the stitches, and in my mind they look horrible. And as soon as I take the glasses off and actually look, they look fine.
Yeah. So this one was, I think I've done this one Saturday for 100-day challenge.
I think so. I love this one.
It's a Barbara Anna. Chirp.
That
And
bird
it's
dresses
out of-
better than I do.
I know, right? Cross Stitching Works. And that's what I got done. Love 950, 959, 954. $9.59. I love that color of turquoise. So pretty. And that one was like 102, 104. Just enough to get me into the goal.
Yep. So I worked on Kylo Ren this last week. Yes, he came out of timeout. He was in a homework project. He's also going to be coming back out again this week. I have him in a cross stick, I think. Yeah, just a cross stick for $480. Anyway, so that's right. So this is coming down right here in this corner.
And you're going to work on him moving forward?
Yeah. I have a challenge I want to get done, and it'd be nice to finish him 480 stitches on that.
So I think that definitely today and probably tomorrow. So there's 5 of these guys, and so I had my crew pick out the 3 they liked. So Dalton picked out him, Morgan picked out him, and Preston picked out this one. So this was my start yesterday on this one, and I did 100 and I'm pretty sure this one was 104. So you can see that I got just a little bit of his tummy done yesterday. So today I'll probably start on another one of those because our printer cartridge ran out of ink, and Morgan was able to get these printed before it died. So I'll probably
It died
do
right
those
after I printed those.
the next 2 days, and then we've already photocopied Pandemic, or printed Pandemic out. So
Well, I need to make a copy of it so I can have a copy.
you haven't printed it out yet?
Well, no, I'm just going to copy off yours.
Oh, okay. So
What's the
anyway,
point of killing another tree?
details. Anyway,
Alright, so I don't have the picture again, but I worked on Spooky. I call it Spooky, it actually has a
I
name.
don't remember. I thought we found that picture.
Yeah, and then it got moved.
Stony Creek.
It's a
from
Stony
Monthly
Creek stitch along.
thing, yeah.
This face is creeping me out. I gotta go find out my purple. Anyway, that was it for a homework and a challenge.
Are you going to be working on that one moving forward? No?
Nope.
Alright, and then, so I'll hold this back here. So this is a postcard that I had got through Post Crossing. It's from Russia, and it is a cross stitch pattern. And I have this one and a frog, and I had a basket with an umbrella. I already stitched it. It's in our bathroom.
Yeah.
And then the other one is a fox, two foxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I have one. What is mine?
Yours is
It's a basket of roses.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what it looks like, and I put in basically 100 in it yesterday, or I think I did this one on Friday, and I think I got, yeah. So this is like the outline of his face, and his nose is in here and whatnot. So yeah, I really like these. I want to get this one done for Preston.
Alright, so I worked on Liberty Quaker some more. All I did was finish the star and add the L and I for Liberty. I have this in for a month-long challenge, and I also have it. Maybe that's attached still. Thank you.
I cracked myself up.
So it'll be coming out. No, actually, I think I'm done with my challenge for this.
Done with that one?
I know it's coming back out for a month-long challenge, just not right now, because I have to do a bunch of counting.
Details.
Yeah.
So
You pulled it out of the needle.
I don't remember what day this one was. Monday last week. Another one of the 100-day challenge. Love this. I decided to be brave and do this one. Oh, and it's out of a. You can see a trend here. I like to sew out of my magazines. I don't remember on this one. I want to say this one was like 127, 137. I basically got, you okay? Need to stop?
I mean, you can stop anyway,
Oh.
actually. Well, go ahead and finish showing and then we can.
So I done the cauldron and the smoke. So we'll be right back.
Alright. And we have returned. For you it was 2 seconds, for us it was 5 minutes.
So my other start for this past week, 100-day challenge, Joan Elliott, which is
seeing a
appropriate.
trend with this.
Joan Elliott in July. That's how much I got into it. She has a ridiculous amount of beads and cranic. So I will bring her out with more intent
Go ahead and show that one.
in July next year, or you know what I mean. Shown in July. And then
Get our
yesterday's,
words out.
I know, right? Yesterday's 100-day start. This was a free patterns with the. I think there was 10 or 12 of the DMC variations threads. This is 3 of them that I use in that. And I got some of the leaves, and then I do use 611 for the little swirly part. And I have the companion piece to this for another handful of variations that I have. And what I would like to do eventually is to get them done and then offset them on my wall. It's my goal. So I think that's all of my 100-day starts.
I believe so.
Yeah. So, what do you got?
Alright, so I worked on Mother Moon, and I know I showed this to you. Sorry if I hit you.
Oh, you did.
I worked on her. I showed her to you guys last week, but I was still working on her afterwards, so I can't remember where I was at. I finished the waves that go around her. Oh my god. I worked some more on that one cheek. You can see my thread in there. I can't remember everything where I worked. I just know that I had to get 1,200 stitches. It was in for whip go. And so that's what I was doing. God, I can't remember where I worked. Can you?
I don't know. I know you put some beads in the top and the moon. You done
Yeah,
something with
I had the
moons.
moons. I did back stitch. I had all the back stitch done. I did some back stitch down on the bottom down here. There's the purple mamba. There's a straight line. It's not a straight stitch, but it just back stitch underneath the cranic stitches here before you do the filigree. And I did that. I avoided back stitch because I put this in for a challenge.
And that only counts as half.
Yeah, so I avoid back stitch because for Jin Lee it's a full stitch, which
Yeah.
is perfect. But for this one group we're in, it's only half, so I avoid it and just do the full stitch, the other stitches, which need to be done anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you do?
So then I worked on, so as mentioned, it's Joan Elliott in July. And I had 3 that I really focused on. So every day, and I messed up yesterday. Yesterday was supposed to have been the medieval lady, and I picked up the ladybug fairy. So I've got to fix my rotation. But there is medieval lady.
Beautiful.
And this is where I've gotten to since you've seen her last. So
She's not creepy anymore.
yeah, she's not creepy anymore. She has a little bit more hair. Her face is her face done? No, I have just a little bit of, I think it's 754. I can't remember for sure. It's basically a peach around her eyes. And then I started on this cuff of her shoulder and come down, and I finally found 830. And so I sewed in here so you can see her hand against her rose and the rest of her dress, and worked on her bodice here, and worked on this little bit of her bodice. Oh, and I put the cranic in at the top of her forehead, and then I also worked a little bit down here. This is the break of the 2 pages for the rest of her dress. So I'm just working on the top half. I don't know where I'm going to pick up today. Give us just a minute, guys. Sorry about that, guys. The neighbors were upsetting the canines, so we had to take care of business. So that was my progress on the Medieval Lady, and she is actually due out to come out again today, and then of course I'll work on her in proper rotation. I'll get that fixed today. So she can get, so she, the wizard, and the ladybug fairy will each get 10 days this month.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to do another one?
No, I got it.
Okay.
So I worked on him some more, and I didn't really do that much extra, just I filled in the side of the window, and I put in some sky. That's all I did. It was for a homework challenge this week, and I figured if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. And not because I don't like the piece, but because I was just working on other stuff. So, it's not in the rotation again, but it is another Joan. So, it's going to be coming back out inevitably, because it's Joan in July.
Gotta have Joan in July.
Gotta have to have it.
So, I worked on Peekaboo Pumpkin. I had it in a challenge. I can't remember what it was for. I know it was for Enchanted Stitches. I think this was for, oh, it was for Bad Omen.
Oh, yeah.
Something that was a bad omen.
That's what that one was for.
And so, that's
That
what
counts.
he looks like. And I think I did all stitching. In fact, I know I did. I didn't do
you did
any
the
beads.
background.
Yeah, so I worked some more over here on this background, and then I put in all of this up in here, and then I think I filled in like the orange and the red. Basically, I just did stitching because when I was working on this, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, but in my mind, I was convinced that beads were only worth half. And so she and I were talking about it, and she's like, well, why don't you work on the beads? And I said, well, because I don't want to just get half points. I want to, get it done. She's like, no, Mom, you can get full credit for the beads. So I got a, Dumbass of the Day award. Word of the Day. So now that I know that, I have this in another challenge coming up. I will be able to get some bead work done and make some more progress. It hasn't spun yet for Mill Hill. So it'll be in the Mill Hill Challenge either next week or the week after, because there's only 2 left. So, okay, you're up.
Alright, so I worked on Summer this last week. So I got a fair amount actually done on this. 255 stitches to be exact. And it's actually in for challenge, so that's where I'm at. So I'm in the bottom half of the bees. So I worked down, I'm at the bottom of my page right now, so I'm just filling in. So yeah, the white right there, that cream, is the bottom of my page. So I think I put it in for a homework challenge this week. And it's also in for a cross stitch. Lots of love for this one. I want to get it done for after college.
So pretty. Alright, and if you would bring back up the Joan book for me.
Oh, yes. Why don't you show...
show a different one?
Yeah, show a different one so I can get this child put back in her bag.
Okay, so the other one that is part of the Joan in July is the Ladybird Fairy. And
There was a ladybug on the truck when we were out the other day.
yeah, there was one when we were coming home from... Where were we coming home from?
I can't remember. We were coming home and he was just hanging out on the window.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. So, okay, the hunter in me, the farmer in me. Doesn't this look like a gazelle running? You know, how their legs are? Or a grasshopper when they hop. You know how their legs elongate out
It
and they
kind of
have
looks
a real
like a praying
thick
mantis
thighs,
too.
right? It's her dress. I have issues. We know.
It's pretty at least.
So
Pretty
anyway.
colors.
I am almost, I think I need to do one more, maybe not. I think I need to do one more strip of red. Or maybe some more red to get to it. And then I can start on the green of her little shawl. So which side am I
Scarf
on?
thing.
Doohickey. Yeah, right in there. Or maybe it's right. I can't remember if it's up here or down here. One of the two. Anyway, so I can do something different than yellow and red, which are neither two of my favorite colors.
Neither.
Neither.
I mean, it's a beautiful project, but not those colors.
But it's a ladybug, and you have to have ladybugs because ladybugs rock.
Ladybugs are the best. I love them.
So
Alright,
the next thing that I worked on was the wizard, which I've been working on for a couple of years. And I had made up my mind that I was going to get a page finished this year. Anyways.
That's what he looks like. You gonna focus?
Well, they're not. He hates us.
My phone has a mind of its own.
So I worked on his hair, which I am having the damnedest time with his hair, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm convinced that it's because my copy didn't photocopy right, because I always work off of a working copy. And 762 is a real pale gray on the pattern, and it didn't photocopy it. So I'm having to read off of the book. I don't want to mark in it, so I'm jumping back and forth between the two, and I'm getting frustrated. And I've had to rip out, and it's frustrating. So anyway, I have all of his hair. So see this big old, would you hold that, Vanna? Thank you. So see this big old hole right here, this crotch looking like hole. Alright, this is a little bit of 762, and I don't remember the other gray, and white.
I think you have 415 in here.
I think it is 415. Anyway, but because, no, it's alright. Because of the way that it didn't photocopy, I have to jump back and forth. And it's just, it's frustrating. And every time I pick it up, I'm like, okay, I got to do the hair. And then I get frustrated and I don't do it. It's the L symbol, is it? So, anyway, and then I've got just a little tiny bit of backstitch left on this top page. I thought I was done, but I'm not. I have to bring in my cranic. And so right here is the page break. So like right in here, I have to come along and fill in so it looks like the, you know, the wisps of his hair. And then this comes clear down, way down here with just more wisps of his hair, and it goes into the border. So I worked a little bit of the white and I worked a little bit of the light gray, and I started getting frustrated. So I came over here and I filled in a whole bunch of his cloak. I've got almost all of the other blues done. I think all I have left for blues now is, well, besides this little bit, I got a little bit more down here, but the rest of this is, I want to say 322, but I'm not positive.
Probably is.
And
I got
then,
322.
I did a little bit, skipped, came way over here and worked on this. And then I did a whole bunch of this. 322.
And 312.
Yeah. And then I worked on this mustard color right in here. Because again, once Confucius over here said that I could do my beads, now I know that I can put in, because all of this is white beading with a blue one, I think, blue or purple in the middle. And then up here in his cloak, all of these stars are white beads that I can put in too. And of course that's part of that bottom page.
The reason why she thought beads were half is because the last group we belonged to, they were only half.
Were they? Is that where I got it from?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've slept since then. Alright, you're up.
Alright, so I started working on Ravenclaw. So this is in for a lip go challenge. And I'm sorry I'm stuffy, guys. Allergies are a thing.
Tell you what.
I don't know what the heck I got into, but I've been sniffing.
Okay, I'll tell you what she got into. So, I took Preston to work this morning because I need the truck because Dylan has football practice. before. Do you want to scoot over? You're not even
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I had to keep the truck today because Dalton has football practice. He has to be at football practice before Preston will get off work. We just have the one vehicle. And went out to get in the truck to leave. The windshield is completely yellow. Like somebody put yellow fairy dust all
And it's
over
not
it.
spray paint.
And our pickup is a real pretty,
Yeah,
it's like
blue.
this color of blue. This color of blue. It was this color on the hood. Not exaggerating. And it wasn't from the bear.
I have to shut my window at night. I used to be able to leave it open.
The pine dust, we've got 2 big pine trees right outside the window here where we park underneath the tree.
The tree's like right outside my window.
And the pine pollen is just absolutely incredible. So, whoever thinks we have corona, we don't. We have pine allergies.
I know we were going to be allergic to pine.
I know, right?
I thought I was allergic to the willows.
Right.
Anyway, I worked on Ravenclaw. Can you hold that, please? Thank you.
You notice that she's Vanna. I'm just here. Hold this.
I said please. I worked on. Do I have my needle on there? Yes. Sorry, freaked out. I had worked on the wing, more of this border, and the blue right here.
I love the color palette.
It's amazing. I'm going to have a page finished this month.
She's an overachiever.
No, it's because I don't have enough stitches on this. I had to do.
See, she has to ruin it with the truth. I was trying to make it sound good.
I have to do 1,200 stitches on this, and there's less than 1,200 stitches on this page, which is a good thing because that means that I can finish it sooner, which is my goal behind this whole thing. But also my OCD. She's giving me looks behind that picture.
So, for those of you who are new to our channel, thank you again, Debbie. I have been working on this beast. Preston calls him Old One Ear.
Dalton calls him the annoying project.
Anyway, so somebody challenged me to get him done by the end of the year.
Because I finished mine.
Which meant she did the, go back to our previous videos, you can see that she did the diamond painting of
I
it.
still have it down. Go ahead and show it. I'll show it down.
So anyway, to get it done, starting July 1st, 12,996 stitches left to finish it. To be able to get it done by the end of the year, I would have had to have put in 71 stitches, I believe is what it was. See, this is her version of it.
And we
Here's
actually
diamond
have a
painting.
new
Look
follower.
at that glare.
You guys can see out the front window.
Right?
We have a new follower that's doing this one actually.
Yeah. The diamond painting of it?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what mine looks like.
Awesome. So she told me, she says, all right, I got mine done, so now I challenge you to get yours done. You can do 100 stitches a day. And I'm like, okay. Or 70 stitches a day.
It was 90 originally.
No, I think originally it was 71.
Alright, then she ran it out to 100 and now it's up to 130
And
a day.
so I decided to incorporate it into a few challenges, and it ended up being 131 or something a day.
Something like that.
If I stay on that track by the end of the month, then redo the math, so August 1st to the end of the year, I would only have to do about 60 stitches a day, which, given the fact that school will be starting and we'll be getting busy with canning and whatnot, that's much more reasonable. So, this is how much I've gotten put in since the 1st of July. So all this right in here. So I almost have, so this is a page, figure, whatever a page would be, over to here maybe. This is essentially a quarter of the page. I probably don't have maybe 200 stitches left on this quarter right here. I've already come down and I've started working on more of this black, because most of this, as you can tell from this part over here, most of this is black.
She's getting down into the countryside and such.
And so I've been jumping back and forth. You can see that I have a little bit of confetti right here, which is I think it's 712. I'm not sure what it is. It's a cream. 3823 maybe. I can't remember for sure.
3756 is on there, I think.
Maybe. I think I've already sewn all that on this part. I can't
I
remember.
think you still have some confetti.
Anyway, maybe I do. Anyway, that's how far that I've gotten in 12 days. I haven't worked on it yet today for today's 100
She
stitches.
mostly works on it at night after she gets all the challenges done.
I do. This is my reward for getting everything else done. So my goal, which would be so cool, is if I could get it done before Christmas, so I could get it framed for us for like our Christmas gift. That would be cool.
I'd be home to see it too.
She'd be home to see it too. Are you done? Do you have more?
I'm done. Hey, what are you eating?
So I have put Aries into a few challenges. And I put in, what did I tell you I put in? 88?
200?
No. I think it was 88 is what I put in yesterday? Yesterday when I worked on it?
I can't remember. It was yesterday or the day before. I can't remember.
I can't remember. Anyway, I have my trusty associate here. She has to get the page out. So
You guys are allowed to
I
see the pattern.
worked, I'm pretty sure it was 88 was what I put in. Because I was over here on this side and I worked over.
She's still up here in
that
wonderful
corner.
blue central.
So once I finish this row off and come down here, I think I've got 4 or 5 more of this color, which is 939, and then I get to pick up 820. And pretty much the rest of this page is 820.
Oh, dude, stop
Once
it.
I get over here to this very bottom corner, I get into her hair. And so I'll be able to pick up that color, but I mean, obviously I have a long ways to go. And I'm trying to work across page 1, work across the rows.
That's what I started doing with Encounter this last week.
And then last, so I've still got almost 500 stitches to put into this one this month because I've put it into several challenges. Oh, and I didn't even take the hoop off of this one. Alright, well,
Obviously, it's going to be the travel project for the day.
actually it probably will be because it's easy to travel with. I'll have my assistant show it to you.
They hop along.
So far I have put in over 1,200 stitches. I don't know the exact count, 1,200 and something.
This cat is eating hair. Naughty cat.
So I have put in, oh gosh, we have to come up a little bit. So I've worked a lot on his chest and his tummy. Have all of this one's foot and leg done. Oh, where else did I work? Worked over here a little bit. Done some yellow here and a little bit of yellow here. A little bit of orange. I think it was up here. Somewhere in here I put in some orange. Maybe it was over here. Trying to think. Put in some white here. White and gray. Yeah, I was going to try coming up and get clear to the top, because you can see I'm
She's like right there.
right there. I think I've got to,
I think you have.
so I think I'm like right in here and hit this one's arm. And I was
Who
going to
stands on their friend's head like that?
I know, right? I was going to come up here and try and get up here to the top, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I came back and I wanted to focus more on finishing as much of him as I could. I think, obviously it won't be this time. I think next time I pick him up, I'm going to do some backstitch because I really want to see them come to life.
Right now they're just blobs of color.
They're just blobs of color, which is awesome, but
Yeah.
I want to see them come to life. So all of that will continue because I have almost all of what I showed you there at the last, minus the 100-day challenges, in future challenges for the rest of the month. I have been thinking about, so next month is Preston and I's wedding anniversary, and it will be 29 years is going to be how long we have been together. And so, and you know, because I need to have another challenge going. I can't, so I was going to start this one today, but I can't because, again, I need to get a new cartridge for my printer. But this was one of my treats with some money that I made this summer. And I think I'm going to put this one on my to-do list for Preston Farley anniversary. I've got a couple weeks to get it done. But again, I got to get my printer cartridge
on
fixed.
parchment?
It would be gorgeous on parchment. So that, I think, is going to be in my to-do list. I think we're going to try and go and get our printer cartridge probably later this week. It'll depend upon football and whatnot we got going on. But yeah, that's pretty much going forward where I'm at. Quilting, project bags, stitching,
Clothes for college.
clothes for college, you know, the usual, doing nothing. So, I think that's it.
I know some of you guys are wondering, and Stacy, I know you'll probably ask me this when we have our next Zoom. College right now is a go. I'm still able to go out in person.
Mid-August.
Mid-August. I know that last week we were like, well, we don't know. So far, it's a yes.
As of today.
The day after my birthday will be the final decision. So.
A lot of it, too, will depend upon, so she's going to be going to school out in Kansas. Right now, they do not have a travel ban on Colorado. They do have a travel ban, or, I shouldn't say that. It's not a travel ban. They have, so if you come in from one of the states that's on their list, Arkansas was on there. If you come in from a cruise, foreign travelers, I can't remember, there's 3 or 4 states.
Arizona's probably on there.
No, I don't remember Arizona. I can't remember. Anyway, I knew that we weren't on there.
Excuse me.
You have to quarantine for 14 days. And like I
Which would
said,
completely defeat the purpose of going out early.
yeah. So as of right now, there's nothing going on for the state of Colorado. But a lot can happen in literally the next 30 days.
Well, that's what we're at basically, is that in a month we're leaving.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens within the next month. They're supposed to make an absolute decision, no turn back, on the 22nd. So until the 22nd arrives and we have a decision with absolution, we don't know. So it'll be what it'll be. Worst case scenario, very worst case scenario, is that she's doing remote learning, doing everything online. But she's still going to get to go to school.
I'm still getting to go to
going
school.
to be on campus.
It's just I want to. I learn better in person.
Very hands-on student.
Very. And with the biology program I'm going into, we go out, you're out in Kansas, literally the heart of the ocean that used to be there.
Yeah.
So there's so much that they take us out to do, and it's just one of those things that it helps to be able to go on the digs that they do and the studies and such.
So it'll be as it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
I think so.
Don't forget to enter.
Yep.
Tell us what you enjoy doing on your breaks. Debbie, thank you again. To our avid watchers, I can't even begin to name everybody, but I will give a shout out to people who touch our lives greatly. Nicole, what can I say? Love you.
We need to have a Zoom, Nicole.
Yes. Stacy, 911 Stitcher. Check her out if you haven't. She is horrible at enabling people. She's doing a sampler parade.
Sampler video parades. Oh my gosh. Our poor checkbook.
Phenomenal. Oh my god, right? Just amazing. Sarah with Stitching Mommy. We love seeing you every week.
Where's Cinnamon?
I know, we missed the cinnamon. Christine, Whiskey and Cooper. Those guys are adorable. There's a ton of you out there that we love watching, but go check out their videos. And of course, Debbie with Creatively Yours, you can't forget her. She's a rock star.
She's amazing. I love her.
So, that all said, I think we're good.
I think we're good.
You guys take care, be well, be safe, be kind.
Bye.
Bye.